have a specification sheet in the technical package. We have to set up the specification points. It's called POM, points of measure, okay? So let's start from the top, which will be front HPS seam to center front. So front HPS seam to center front. This one is 28. We can just put 28 here, okay? And then we'll figure out after we measure this and fit this what we want to change and what we want to improve. But I would like to start from this. So front body line, shoulder seam forward. Remember, is there any shoulder seam forward? In this case, it's backwards. So I don't like the backward shoulders on t-shirt. I can do right at the top or forward. And I already explained to you when the shoulder seam is forward on the flat like this, brings the camera closer, like this. Actually, this one corresponds to natural shoulder here. But you know, no big deal. You can do shoulder seam. Let's do it right at the roll line, okay? So this one is backwards, about a quarter. So this is minus a quarter. Well, we're gonna do it 0. That's what I mean. Okay, shoulder slope. Now shoulder slope this is how you measure. Oh my God, this is bad. This is too sloped. So shoulder slope here to here is 2 1/4. So if we put this on Carolina, it's gonna look really bad. But on somebody who's very sloped, it may not be a problem. But for the mass market, it's a defective fit. It's like for very, very minority people that have a very sloped shoulder. Shoulder slope is 2 1/4, and when we fit, you're gonna figure out that it's wrong. Now shoulder edge to edge, this is how I measure. Flip over like this. Okay, and the shoulder edge to edge is here. From here to here is 16.5. Now next is across back. Across back, I have it. Let's find out where approximately across back is on your style and determine. Let's say this is a very low armhole. So I would say somewhere here. And then I'm gonna do from HPS because the back neck is weird on this one. It's too low. So let's call it at 5.5 below HPS. And this one here is 15.25. Let's enter this. 16.5, 15.25. 16.5 and 15.25, and I'm gonna put 5.5 from HPS. So I already have it set up. It's easy to work from this one. And you're gonna have set up tech picks for every category. Pants, skirts, this, and you start from there. So let's flip over to the across front again. So across front, let's do in the same spot as 5.5. And here is your 5.5, which is right here. And this is bad fit. It's 15 3/8. So like you cannot have cross front bigger than cross back. People move arms forward. So that tells you that people that do this cheap stuff, they don't know what they're doing. So knits, you measure on half. Wovens, you measure full circumference. It's because knits don't have darts and they're flat. So it's easy to measure on half. So here is 17.5. Chest is 17.5.
That was 1 inch below.
1 inch below armhole. Oh, I have it at armhole because this is a different style. So we can do, you can choose. This particular one have to be at armhole because it's a very low armhole, and this part, I guarantee, is gonna match person's bust. So it's 17.5. Now, if it's a tubular like this, these are normally same. right? You can make this different. So we're just gonna make one with seam. That's why we need all measurements. Men's usually don't have a waist shape. For men's t-shirts, you have chest and the sweep. So normally it's straight because, like, you know, men's don't have that pairs like we have. So let's do all these measurements because we're gonna create unisex. We're gonna create for both male and female. And you skip and you may modify based on what you're gonna do. Chest, now let's do the waist because this was a male t-shirt. So chest, and let's do the waist. Waist width, we can determine where the natural waist is on this, and we can do from HPS approximately. So I will do approximately, pick the number, and then we can know on the during the fitting if it's correct number. Let's do it 16.5. Normally 15.5 and 16.5 is right on me on the t-shirts. Waist 16 below HPS, and in this case is 17.5. Now sweep, I measure at the bottom, but if you have a rib or something, it's a different style. So this is just a regular bottom, and it's 17.5, we know that. And we'll determine what we're gonna do once we fit this t-shirt. I want to fit this t-shirt on you and you know what I mean, and see what we need for each one of them, you know. So now this is a different style, so I don't need the rim. Now this is one important measurement that I like to put in for my development process in the beginning, to sketch, to create the draft. Okay, so I like to do armhole drop square. So the way you measure this is you put the level right here where the lowest level of the armhole is, and then you measure from here to here. It's very easy for me to do the flat pattern making if I have these measurements. So this is 10.5, 10 and 5/8. 10 and 5/8. I'm gonna show you store-bought t-shirt and my t-shirt. I have a comparison. Sometimes I buy t-shirts at Target because they're like $4 or $5 or $6, you know. Fabric is good, but I get so mad at the fit, are so bad. Okay, so neck, armhole drop from HPS. Now neck width, we got the neck. So neck width is measured here like this. HPS to HPS, and this is 6 and 5/8. Front neck drop, lower the camera. Front neck drop is measured here like this. This is the HPS, right? Regardless where the seam is. So from down here is 3 3/4. So did we say 6 and 5/8, 3 3/4? Okay. So back neck drop is measured same way. So here to here to, in this case, I can see this is 1 inch. So you're not including rib, you're just measuring from the seam. Okay, I think good for t-shirts because they're curved, neck rib. See how rib is less here and the spread here, so it is flat like this. That's why we are using ribs for the t-shirt. If you take this fabric and create this as a rib, it never stays flat. This doesn't curve. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's gonna stand up like this. That's why we need the ribs for the t-shirt. So factory, if you're producing, can provide, they either take the raw material, they dye together, or they have matching rib, okay? Mm-hmm. That's the purpose of the rib. Okay, so now back neck drop. Rib height, in this case, you choose what you want, 1 7/8. 7/8. In this case is 7/8. So when we make our t-shirt, don't expect it to be perfect unless you have some rib at home. that you can use. We can just use a regular, and I'm going to teach you how to mold the regular rib into kind of a curved shape.
Do you also use yeast?
Yeah, you need stretch. You need,
Okay.
I'll teach you. It's possible. Not all these fabrics, but some fabrics possible. And narrower will work better, you know. Okay, sleeve length. Okay, so sleeve length from center back. Well, you can do sleeve length here or center back, but let's do here. It's easier. So sleeve length on this one is 6 3/8. 6 3/8. But the reason I've center back is if you're comparing this and you want this finished measurements, but you're changing the seam, you may want to have these measurements. So you say, I want my sleeve here, I want my sleeve same as this, but shoulder seam is here, 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 here. So that's why you need the full measurements. Sleeve length from shoulder seam, I have both, okay. Just for the information. Let's skip this. Okay. Now sleeve cap height. I like for the development to sketch my pattern, I need sleeve cap height. And this is how I measure sleeve cap height. And the t-shirt is pretty easy. You put the roller straight like this, right? You lay down like this. See, like this. Just don't, make sure it's not folding like this. This is, we know most of the time they cut it straight and straight. And you can do 2 ways. It's really, so you can measure this, deduct, and you get your sleeve cap height. Because I'm sure that if they curve it, then it's different story. But they usually measure it straight. So let's say if this is 6 1/4 and minus this, I ended up to be 3 inches. Or I can take this one, a square ruler like this, and this is 3 inches. So this is a very low sleeve cap height, and the reason this is, that's why the cap is like too much fabric underneath and tube kicks out. And muscle usually measure, take the ruler as squared 1 inch below like this. So this is 7 1/4, and the sleeve opening is 6 7/8. From center front neck seam is 3 3/4, and the graphic width for your information is 12 1/2 or 12 5/8. Okay, and then you have to give a direction of where to place this. Okay.